Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back to the AnKorage, and this is Solaria Quest. Hey folks, we've got another edition of Solaria Quest coming for you, and in the last Solaria Quest I'd actually taken a shot at the front plates, or the faces of Solaria and Odin with a clear matte finish, and I happen to have it. I have Solaria's right here, so here it is, and you can kind of see the sheen. It's matte, so it's not a mirror finish. And it looks really good. So what I wanted to do was up at the very top here, you can see I've got an embossed label that actually has the word Solaria on it for its name. And I'm a big fan of embossed labels, and I use them in many things. Not a whole lot, but over the years it's been a lot. And so I'm going to be doing something similar, but in this case it's the actual removal of them, and here's why. I recently got in touch with A1 decals, where I've had purchased vinyl decals for Battlestar Galactica in the past, and and using the faceplate for this face cover. You can see I've got one of them right here. This is a Colonial Phoenix logo that shows up on everything colonial from Cobalt. The Cobalt colonies. And I've got that there. I've got that on a notebook. I've got it on Scotty, my laptop, and so I was low on a couple of them. And so what I did was I put in an order for some additional ones to have on hand, different sizes, different colors. And with all of these orders, you get at least a couple of freebies. And they're usually smaller, stuff like that. And I think that is just to take up more of the paper so that it uses more paper and has less waste. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I think. And for the last order that I had, I would have had 12 free decals. So I said, hey, I have an idea. Can you give me these words? Just two words, Solaria and Odin. And can you put them on, make decals out of them? And, we went back and forth a little bit over text, and just to get everything more or less just right. And here they are right here. And I'll hold Solaria up. You see that? And it's in your Battlestar Galactica font that you see from, I think it's from the series from '78. However, because it was used in Blood and Chrome, that production, and this is just my judgment, so don't quote me on it, but because they used that font for the Battlestar Arsharon in Blood and Chrome, it is therefore a canon font and perfectly usable. So I asked him to go ahead and see if he could make up a couple of these, and he did. And I do notice that the word Solaria happens to be just the slightest bit smaller than the word Odin, and which is fine. If I hold it up and show it to you here, you can see the word Solaria right there. And if I hold it just like so, you can see the top of it here, right along here, and then you see this right down here, this piece here. This is a little gap because that's the actual frame for the glass. And so what I wanted to make sure of was that the word was going to fit in between that. And Solaria definitely does. And Odin looks like it's a tight fit, but it'll still work. So we are going to be switching those out. So why don't we get into that? Okay. Please pardon the difference in the volume. I'm going to try to speak up for the sake of the camera. I'm using my cell phone right now. So here we have the actual labels that are going to be used on those front plates. So I'll put those aside and I'll bring up Solaria here. Here is Solaria's right there. I'm going to flip it upside down so this is the front that you see all the time. And we're going to make Solaria forget who she is. All right. Peel it off and boom, there we go. So there's that. So we got to get Odin. So give me 1 second. All right. I got Odin and here he is. So let's get this peeled off. There we go. All right. So let's move on to the next part where I actually adhere those new labels. Okay. All right. So my apologies on the angle. I have to put these on facing me. So, but the camera, for the sake of the angle, I have to basically put it backwards. So my apologies there. So what I have to do is, here's Odin right here. And so what I need to do first is I'm going to take this card here and I'm just going to go like this. And that's just to get this upper portion of plastic to adhere better to the vinyl. Do that. And then I have to peel it off. And I remove it like so. So here it is. And let me just look at the camera, make sure the angle's looking all right, and it is. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere this to the top of the case, trying to keep it straight. All right, there we go. And I press it on, take the card, and I rub it on. I'm going in diagonal motions while putting down some pressure right in the center. And then I take this and slowly peel it off. You see, it's still catching. So let's try this way. If I can get that. There, that works much better. Ta-da. And there we go. Turn this around. And there you have it. It says Odin right there. And it's in a darker green than what's down there. That's okay. I want it to be able to be completely noticeable when looking directly at it, but that it doesn't just fly in your face. Okay, and I went ahead and I went to do Solaria, but I had an issue with recording. The camera application froze on me for some stupid reason, so I reset it and I'm back on. And so Solaria is all up, and there it is. And of course, you can see we've got, here's the upper line as it is. Here's the lower. This is that joint for the glass frame, which is this portion. Here's the portion that goes up against the case, and it's all lined up and it's straight. So there we go. Okay, and here are those face plates things. The covers are back on the actual machines. Solaria is on the left, Odin's on the right, and the green. It looks green, but it is a darker green. I don't know if you can actually see the difference there, but you should be able to. The words are a little darker than the symbols down at the bottom, the logos, the phoenixes, colonial phoenixes, and there we are. So what I need to do at this point is just a little cleanup. This is some schmeckers from the labels, from the other labels. So I'll clean those up, and we have one more step after this. All right, so that part's done. I'm glad I finally got that done. So the last step that I need to do is the same thing as I did with the very fronts. I shot the fronts with a clear matte, and that was to give me that matte finish, but also its second purpose was to seal in those Colonial Phoenix decals down at the bottom. Seal them in so they don't just fall off on their own. And so that's everything there. So this second part is now that I've got those names actually on the case, I want to do the same thing with those as I did with those Colonial Phoenixes. I want to seal them in. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing as I did with the front. I'm going to take my matte clear and I'm going to shoot the tops of those. But the temperature is a little cold today. It would work certainly fine, but I would like the sun to be able to bake it a little bit. And the forecast for tomorrow is sunny and hot, like in the mid 80s. So that's Fahrenheit, by the way. So, and that's going to be doing that. So let's pick it up tomorrow. Okay, and there we go. That is reminding Solaria who she is and who Odin is, because they have to match. So that was kind of fun to do, and it's about the same amount of fun as it was putting the clear coat on the front. So shooting it with that and getting it all on there. So those decals are now sealed on there. They will not fall off on their own given over time. So once again, these decals are provided by A1 Decals. They're down in Kentucky, and their work is fantastic. It's really, really good, and I do recommend if you ever need any decals of different types, you can go to a1decals.com. You can check them out, and this isn't sponsored by them or anything. I'm just doing it out of my own pocket. So I'm just letting them know, hey, they're good, and I'm featuring their product and giving it some good use. And they do all kinds of decals for different purposes and things of that sort. So now with I've got some larger gold Colonial Phoenixes. I think one or two of them are they may end up on the car in strategically placed spots. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I may still do it. I may not. Because I'm not the type that likes to cover, vehicles with bumper stickers and stuff like that. But this is slightly different. This is a logo, and there's no words on it. I despise text and things of that sort. And it's like you have the logo of the manufacturer on it. That's fine, but I want to take the words off. So for those with Fords, is like, oh, I don't want the word, but I remember those days. I've owned Fords in the past, and they are very good vehicles. So, but anyways, so I might do that with my car because I'm a Battlestar Galactica fan, and I'm not embarrassed to show it. So there we go. And I may not only want to have it in my home, I may want to display it. So put on a decal, spray a little clear on it, gloss, and seal it on, and move on. So there we go. So that was a lot of fun to do, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you again in the future. So we'll talk to you later. So thank you very much. Skál.